I'm Jenna, and today's subject is the ego. I'm going to continue that discussion because I just started and I have established that the ego is a cause of a great deal of our suffering. And so it's because it's a negative entity and it likes drama, in other words. So the ego is negative and it likes drama. And so this is the cause of a great deal of our suffering. Now, you have to understand that the ego causes suffering because it is negative and the soul is positive. So you have to provide a balance between the two. The ego is a motivator and it drives us to acquire the things that we desire in life. And so it is necessary, but it is also necessary to control its negativity. And what the ego does in a relationship, it is the ego that desires a romantic relationship. Now, if you enter into a romantic relationship because of the ego, that relationship will at some point turn negative. Of course, when we meet, we fall in love, and that's because we are vibrating at the same frequency. And this creates a feeling of euphoria. And so this is the feeling that we have of falling in love. And so since we've fallen in love, the ego must create some sort of drama to generate its negative energy that it desires. And so it creates problems. Now, you have to understand that whatever frequency you are vibrating at is the type of person that you are going to draw into your life. And this is what I'm saying. If you are looking for a gentleman at a time in your life that you are in a very dark place, you are going to draw someone of similar mind, of like mind. So say, for instance, if there's a young lady and she's standing on an L platform contemplating jumping off in front of the train and committing suicide, and a man walks up to her, a gorgeous man walks up to her and says hello. And this saves her life because once she meets this gentleman, she no longer wants to kill herself. But you have to consider the mindset that she was in when she met this gentleman. Now, she was suicidal, so she was vibrating at the lowest frequency, and that person had to be vibrating at extremely low frequency, at the same frequency, in order to be drawn to her and come and talk to her and want to unite with her. And so this is what she's attracted. She's attracted a man who is vibrating at a low frequency, who wants to harm her, who is mentally unstable, because anyone who is suicidal is mentally unstable and suffering a great deal mentally. This is what she has just attracted. She has just attracted a gentleman who is mentally unstable, who suffers in his mind, who has an out of control ego, and he wants to harm her. So more than likely this gentleman will end up physically, emotionally, and mentally abusing her. And then we don't understand how these relationships go so terribly wrong. Well, what was your state of mind when you attracted that gentleman? And that is why I'm always saying that the self-work comes first. You have to perfect yourself first. You have to become the best person that you can be, because this is the person that you are attracting into your life. If you want someone who is of a good quality and who will treat you properly, you must treat yourself that way. You must first become that person. What do you really think of yourself? We attract what we think about. And so if you don't think much of yourself, this is what you are attracting into your life. And another thing, you have to consider that you cannot satisfy your own ego, and yet we have a tendency to want the other person to satisfy our ego. Ego is a crying baby that is never full. It's never satisfied. You can satisfy a person's ego for a short time. They want a new car, they want a new house, or whatever, and they get these things, and they're only temporarily appeased. They're happy for a little while, and then they on to the next thing. Then they want something else, and they want something else. It goes on, and the more this person is given, the more they desire. And so you have to understand that is the ego. That is the nature of the ego. It is the one that desires everything. And this creates a great deal of suffering for individuals who don't understand. And the way you get the ego under control, you first have to stop these negative thoughts. And the best way to learn to control your thoughts is through meditation. And there are many ways to meditate. Meditate according to your own spiritual practice. You can meditate on scriptures if you're a Christian. You can meditate on those above. There's many ways to meditate. You can take one scripture and meditate on that scripture, and that is meditation. You are keeping your thoughts trained on one scripture so that you can get insight and wisdom from that scripture. You can discover its deeper hidden meaning. Or you simply use the traditional technique and still your mind. Stop all thoughts. And this is the way you control your ego. You have to stop it. You have to tell it to be quiet. You have to just tell it to shut up. And so you must discipline yourself and you must control your thoughts. But this is how ego creates suffering. And if you enter into a romantic relationship with an out of control ego, you have attracted a person with an out of control ego. And so you both will suffer. And so that's my story about ego, and I'm sticking to it. And I will talk to you next time. Thank you for watching, and please leave comments and subscribe. You can contact me if you wish. Have a nice day.